Hey guys, welcome to Weeaboo Wednesday. New show here on Beardy Heads with me, Dave. Each month I'm going to play a game that's of Japanese origin. This month it's going to be Final Fantasy VII. I'll just kind of teach you a few things about the game, some trivia, maybe get you to play it, and I'll just talk about whatever else comes to mind. But yeah, so this is Final Fantasy VII, which first came out in '97. First in January of that year over in Japan, and then for North America, when I got to play it, was in September. Actually, I got to play it around Christmas gift. But it's a very long and very fun game. It's a really well-loved game. A lot of Game of the Year awards that it got. And also, it was one of the first Final Fantasy, or it was the first Final Fantasy with these FMV cutscenes that you'll. And it had some beautiful music. Despite it almost being 20 years since this game came out, there is another one, or it was just re-released just last year, like back in December. Okay, see that title? That right there is when I became a gamer. That was the moment with the city of Midgar. Oh, I love this part so much. I love right here how it transitions from the full motion video to just the normal stuff. Great transition there. One of our allies, another one. And it's us, the spiky-haired protagonist. First we're gonna pick up some potions. Then run on. Have the very first fight of the game. See that weapon? That is the Buster Sword. That's an iconic weapon. Everybody knows that weapon if you grew up in the 90s. Or at least if you were a gamer anyway. Evidently, it's one of only 4 weapons that you cannot get rid of. Can't sell it, can't do anything, it's always going to be with you. Sorry, I'm getting used to the controls because I'm playing this with a Xbox controller, which is kind of weird after playing with the PlayStation controller for so many years. This is a heads up, you'll see some rough cuts, this game's hard to cut together. And also I'm still getting used to it. But the main character's name is Cloud the Blonde, but, you know, this is a game and I'm playing it, and I hate the name Cloud. I'm gonna name him after myself. This here is Barrett, who will get to keep his own name. He's one of the others. His first weapon is something that you can't get rid of. Both of those guys, Barrett and Cloud, they were among the first 3 characters designed for the game. So they're all that, they pretty much were what started it. Everybody else kind of got filled in from there. I often wonder how, they're remaking this game. It's supposed to come out, I think, sometime this year or next year. And I wonder how they're going to do the battle system, because I don't know if the more modern gamers could be able to deal with that kind of slow, patient, timed battle. Ah, Shinra. Spinner is an evil oil company. Not oil company. But basically, they're an oil company. Make energy by sucking stuff out of the planet. And this is one of the reactors in the city of Midgar. There are like 8 reactors around ringing the city. Kind of a weird city. I'll explain more about that later. There's a point in the game where Barrett kind of explains it. Oh, we gotta talk to her first. Also, I'm worried in the remake what they're gonna make the characters sound like. I'm really worried Cloud's gonna have a really kind of like high-pitched voice. Oh, random battles. I kind of miss them in games. This is also the first battle I got with Barrett. You can see he's got a missing right arm. He lost it in an accident some years before the game. And he's got a gun there now. I've often wondered where he keeps his ammunition. That arm has got to be heavy. Keep the kind of ammo he goes through. You can see how Cloud or David has magic as well as his regular attack. Barrett will get magic later, but I just wanted to point out that Cloud here is he's based on a former, there used to be jobs in Final Fantasies, and I think there were in some of the later ones after this. But in this one, you have Cloud, and they got rid of the job system, and Cloud is a Mystic Knight. That was what he started as, which is a skill class that emphasizes sword play and magic use. So he's pretty strong with his magic as well as his sword. That is an awkward looking thing in the back. It looks kind of like, what was that robot from RoboCop? Was it 2? No, 1, the first one. That he like walks up at the end, it tells him not to come in, and he just kind of blows it away with one rocket or something. Completely worthless. Sometimes it's best to wait and see what your enemies do before you just decide what your next move is going to be. Not really right there, I just wasn't paying attention, or I was thinking about something. Ooh, limit breaks. Limit breaks are those really strong attacks you get after being beat on a bit too long. Save there. You know, I didn't realize this back when I was younger, but there are a ton of save points in this game at the beginning. I mean, throughout Midgar, it seems like I'm constantly running into a save point. And I kind of enjoyed that because it almost encouraged you to save. You see it, and it reminds you, hey, I better save. I mean, this was before the days of autosave, which I like, but I don't. I mean, sometimes it was nice to be able to save whenever you want it in the game. I remember, first Call of Duty comes to mind, where if you got through a particularly hard part, you could save. Whereas in later Call of Duties, you couldn't. You just had to wait until it told you could save. Ah, the first boss. Guard Scorpion. My first use of the Spraver technique. Really hated this guy. Well, I didn't hate him. Because he's easy, and it just gets harder from here on out, except for one boss that was programmed in a really stupid way that you can kill in one hit without even really hitting it. I've never actually fought that boss later on in the game. Probably won't see me get that far. But anyways, there's something kind of weird. They pointed this out when I was younger, I noticed it. All these things built by Shinra, all these robots and enemies, they're weak against lightning. Which is kind of interesting. You would think they would correct for that. Ah, the big shot. That's a fun technique as well. Oh, another thing, Barrett there. He's the leader. The group we're with, I don't remember if they mentioned the name yet. The group I'm with is Avalanche. Barrett is the leader. He didn't come out in the game that I remember. It came out in subsequent games. There were a few spin-offs to this game. But it turns out that Barrett was not the original founder of Avalanche, but he was a member of it, and something happened and there was a battle between the Turks and Avalanche, or the original Avalanche. And Avalanche basically got wiped out, and Barrett became the leader of this little ragtag group. Of course, I can't attack while his tail is up, or he will hurt me really bad. But we'll just kind of chill. There's just things to say about this character, Barrett. His last name is Wallace, and it's very possible, I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but a lot of people seem to think that his last name was picked after William Wallace, Scottish hero who led the Scottish against the English in the Scottish War of Independence, because he's basically trying to fight off the evil, or what his group uses the evil Shinra, or anybody would view him as such, but that's kind of a cool parallel to history. There's a lot of references to like mythology and history in these games. Like Midgar is a reference to Norse mythology. Actually, this game, back when I was younger, and even to this day, I was really kind of interested in mythology and Norse mythology. And this game's kind of what got me into it, because there was a character, there's a spell called Odin. I was like, I know that name, where do I know that name? And remember, I was like 9 when this game came out, so it was kind of a strange thing for me to have picked up somewhere. But it made me curious, so in the early days of the internet, or at least in the early days of it being useful, I spent a lot of nights reading up on Norse mythology, all because of this game. It was a lot of fun, I enjoyed it. Now, I don't think I've ever needed more than 5 minutes to get out of this place. You know, I also never realized, but I just learned this recently, that formation does kind of matter in this game. Never knew it until recently. I don't know how big a difference it makes, but there's a front row and a back row. And I should really have Barrett in the back row, because he's a long-range fighter. or at least right now. He uses gun arms, but a few times he'll equip a weapon that's it attaches for his arm, but it's really a short-range weapon. Like there's one that's a parry, like a big claw, and he'll run up and hit people with it. Make sure to save Jesse. Be why here in a little bit. Come on, go, go, go! Still getting used to the controls. Oh, you see the little thing? Little finger hand over my head? Damn it. But yeah, it's optional. You don't have to put that on. It just helps you locate your character. Like in a place like this where your character's really small on the screen, it can come in handy. And of course, when you put that up, you also get like that red triangle down there, or one up above me. And those are all the doors and stuff that ways out of that area into the next area. Watch, I say that it never takes me more than 5 minutes to get out of here, and it's going to take me more than 5 minutes when I'm first trying to record it for you. Or it's going to get close. Now see, if I hadn't rescued Jessie back there, I would have had to gone back for her there. She's the only one that can open that door for some reason. Not that you ever want to leave your friends behind, of course. Alright, we're out. Remember, we still had 5 minutes 20 seconds left. But for the sake of drama, it's already going to explode. Because, of course. Jessie, she's really good with tech. And sometimes a bit overzealous with her explosions. Sector 8. Yeah, so, this was Sector 1 we were just in. And the city is split up into sectors. There's 8 sectors. They form a circle. I don't know if there's really what you would call a center. I don't know what the hell's in the center. Ah, of course. The flower girl. Will be kinda nice to her. Yeah, why not? I'll go ahead and buy one. It'll affect a few things later in the game. And this isn't the last time we meet Flower Girl. Well, you won't meet her in this episode again, but you will see her. I will talk about her. I was just about to miss something. There we go. Gotta get that potion. Part always kind of made me laugh, because you can choose to fight these guys or run away, it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna go ahead and fight them because I want the experience. What are these guys? MPs? Yeah. It was always kind of weird to me because a soldier and MP, they dress alike and look alike. This is one of those whole, hey, we can change the enemy just by changing the color. You don't have to design somebody new, we just change the color of them. Here's gonna be the last group that I get to fight. So easy at this point in the game, aren't they? One hit, they don't really do much damage. And 4 damage, what's that? Nothing. I could totally keep fighting all these guys. For the sake of the story, I can't. They won't let me. So we're going to do something of questionable intelligence and jump onto a train. Good timing though, that train. I mean, you know how trains never run on time, so thankfully it was there when we needed it. Ah, the glories of fiction. Yeah, I didn't really think about it when I was younger. I wonder why they capitalized every letter of Avalanche and Soldier. I mean, they're not like, what is it, an acronym? I don't like they stand for anything individually as far as I apologize for the mouse. I didn't realize that was recording until too late. But at least now I made my triumphant entrance. Here's Jesse last but not least. I always thought Jesse was gonna, or at this point, I thought Jesse was gonna be like a love interest for Kate. Turns out she's not, but certainly seemed that way at the time. Love how he just complains instead of like questioning why we came out of the storage compartment. You know, it's interesting. These newspapers work really fast because we just blew up that reactor, and he's already talking about how we're in the papers. We're already the headlines. 12:23 in the morning, midnight. Roughly, we're supposed to get to the next train station at 12:23. Hot plate. So the thing about Midgar is, there's kind of an old Midgar and a new Midgar, you could say. Is that there was the old town, which is what we're in right now, which is now the slums. And then at some point, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe I'll find out and tell you the next episode, the Shinra decided to build another city on top of it. So there's a bunch of plates above us that are supported by columns. And those plates are where the richer folk are. I mean, I don't know about you, but would that piss you off? If you were just living in an area and then someone was like, gonna pull a Mr. Burns on you and block out the sun? Like, nope, you don't get access to sunlight and fresh air. I mean, I guess on the plus side, they never have to experience winter. Or like heavy snows and ice. How do they react when they finally get out of the city? They go visit somebody in another town and they've never been in the sun before. I mean, really, when you consider that thing up, the plates up there, you gotta wonder why more people don't resort to terrorism in this game, because that's some oppression right there, man. Oh, the cursing. They do curse in this game. Mostly, not a whole lot. Or, well, they do curse quite a bit. They don't spell out a lot of words, though. They just put in those weird characters. Or they, I guess you could say, juicier words. The only one I can think of right now that's spelled out often is damn. Oh, that's if you even consider that a curse word. Oh, that might not look like much now. Back in '97 when this game came out, man. Incidentally, the game started development in '95, but it had kind of a weird and very different story. The creator of the series, I forget his name. Let me see if I have it here. Hironobu Sakaguchi. I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names. He created the series, and originally he wanted this game to be like a detective game, where you saw how we just blew up the reactor. Well, apparently he wanted us to play the detective trying to find out who blew up the reactor. And that I guess wasn't popular, so a lot of the staff members that they had decided to leave and go work on Chrono Trigger instead at the time. So it kind of put everything on a halt. But when they did kick back up, they had the largest staff ever at the time of like 120 different artists and programmers. They ended up making this amazing and well-loved game that cost $45 million US to make. Which, if you're keeping track, that's about $67.1 million in 2016. Good thing for them, this game sold like 2 million copies in 3 days after its release in Japan. Went on to sell like over 10 million just on PlayStation. Or, no, just under 10 million on PlayStation. And that makes it the second best-selling game ever on the PlayStation. Or on the original PlayStation. But after all the releases and stuff, it sold like over 11 million copies with all the releases or re-releases thrown in, like the Steam version, which is what I'm playing, or any digital versions. And this is Tifa. Ever since I was a kid, I called her Tifa until about 2 days ago. Found out that I was saying it wrong the whole time. He was not one of the original characters. He got developed as a direct response to another character. I'll get into that later. Marlene, Bear's daughter. Good thing I bought that flower. I could give it to Tifa. Tifa's pretty awesome. Pretty strong-willed and pretty tough. And she's very popular with cosplayers because of these reasons. Also, she's pretty easy to cosplay as, I guess. I mean, not like cosplay well, but you know, you can do a fun cosplay for her with a relatively low budget. A lot of people give. I'll talk about that later when I can actually show you her in battle, because she is a playable character. She does fight with you. Is a childhood friend. Of course I'm gonna get my pay. Always get my pay. See if I can point something out over here on the wall for you. See if I can see it before I go downstairs. See how it says Texas there on the wall? That was really cool to me as a kid because I'm from Texas. Also, I just noticed the other day that it says Texas above the bar outside. And, you know, that was kind of cool. Also, I thought it was interesting because it's kind of like Firefly. How in this game you'll see some English words on screen, and then you'll see, I'm assuming Japanese. I can't read Japanese, so I don't know. You know, something from some Asian language, their symbols and stuff. So it's kind of like Firefly, how it kind of combines two different languages. I mean, obviously they're not going to speak in Japanese in my game. Use any because I can't read it. No, weird. And screw Shinra. I don't care about neither Shinra nor Soldier. That was just a great screw-up translation. Or not translation, I guess, but terrible English. I wonder how things would have gone if I'd just walked away at this point. The rest of the game, the events that happened in the world have happened if I hadn't stuck around. I didn't forget the childhood promise we made. Such relaxing music. Relax. Close your eyes. That kid has got some big feet. Plaid had spiky hair all the way back then. Apparently it was supposed to be black originally and kind of slicked back. But it changed to make him stand out more since he's the hero and everything. I wonder though, he stopped rocking the ponytail at some point. I wonder why. I mean, you would say, yeah, he joined the soldiers, so he would have gotten rid of it for practical reasons of not getting in the way in combat, but he still has the huge spike in front of it. So you would think that would get in his eyes, or whatever. Don't know why you'd really want to be in the newspaper. Well, I mean, as a kid, I guess, because you think the only reason you'd get in the newspaper is because of good things. Now that I'm older, it's just, well... who knows why you might get in the papers. Also, I just don't really want to get in the newspapers. Not that that matters to anybody. Except for me. Oh, but you will be, young man. You will be. At the age of 21. They even tell you the heights in the instruction manual. Like, Cloud's 5'7", so he is a pretty short hero. I don't know why they chose to make him that short. Barrett there. Barrett is 6'4". And much older than Cloud or Tifa. They even went so far as to list blood typing in the game, or game's manual. I don't have it with me, so I don't remember any or the types, but they're there for some reason. I always found it interesting how he kind of drifts to the center of the pedestal, or the platform. You know, I'm pretty sure if that kid were doing that in this country, in the US, these days, the Child Protective Services would be there in a heartbeat. I mean, the kid's just sitting there mixing drinks. Ah, yes, the tutorial. You guys ready to see a tutorial? Well, like I said, I'm not heartless. Yeah, it was pretty easy. I mean, if you ever decide to play the game, or you pick it back up, it's very easy. You'll figure it out quick. Yes, watch the bar. Little Marlene. And now, like, I'm gonna probably try to skip from place to place. But next time, join me. Next Wednesday with more Final Fantasy. And in the meantime, why don't you help us out by going to these places and liking and subscribing? I'm Dave. Thanks for watching.